Hey guys, Mubarak here of In Penny Stock. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to part 3 of the intro series for In Penny Stock University. Alright, in this video I'm going to cover how you can tell what is going to happen to the price of a stock. Okay, this is a secret key ingredient of being able to be a successful trader. Alright, because if you can understand that, if you can figure out how to understand if a stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or whatever, then you'll be able to profit. Because it's just like any other business or any other product. You want to buy low, sell high. Alright? Now, as you get more advanced into trading, I'll be introducing other opportunities to you, such as how you can even make money on the way down. But I don't want to confuse you guys. I don't want to get into any tricky stuff. In fact, me and most of my students still profit primarily from going long, which means that we are hoping and investing in the fact that the price of the stock will increase and we'll be able to profit off of that way. So that's going to be the main discussion that we're going to have now. There's a few different ways that you can kind of figure this out, but the main vocabulary word that I'll be utilizing a lot that I want you to understand is called a catalyst. Okay? So a catalyst is basically the word I use here and the word a lot of kind of stockbrokers, or not stockbrokers, but like market analysts and market commentators, that they will use in order to discuss a event or piece of news or a piece of information, right? A data point that is going to determine the price of a stock or going to affect or influence the price of a stock. So let me give you some examples. All right, if a company says that they have a partnership with another company, that's a catalyst. When they release earnings, that's a catalyst. So an example of earnings is that every quarter public companies are required to discuss where they are at with their revenues, with their sales, with their expenses, with their profits. And Wall Street has a tendency to place estimations upon these companies every quarter too. So what happens is that company ABC is going to say that it has to release their first quarter earnings, right? They have to talk about how they did in their first quarter. Now the interesting thing about that though is that Wall Street in the past, right, before they even announced their results, has already set a prediction in place, has already, based on their analysis, based on their understanding, based on the information disclosed by the company, they've already assessed that this company is going to do this much in revenue, this much in sales, this much in profit, and it's all kind of narrowed down into this one keyword called EPS, or earnings per share. But that's not important for stock trading, so I won't go into it in this video, but you can feel free to Google it on your own and figure it out. But essentially, right, earnings then, depending on whether the company meets expectations, like the Wall Street expectations, their estimates, whether they beat it or go, don't beat it, right, go under it, that'll determine if the stock price goes up or down. Because if they beat it, Wall Street is like, oh my God, they did better than expected. And then usually what happens is, again, I told you before, the stock price, if people buy, it'll go up. If people sell, it'll go down. So people will generally act in that behavior. If companies are doing joint ventures, if they're doing layoffs, layoffs is an interesting one. You would usually think that, oh shoot, okay, if a company is doing layoffs, then that means that they're probably not doing so well. But in fact, you would be wrong. You would be wrong because layoffs, every time there's layoffs, the price of a stock actually goes up. You know why? Because what that means is that the company is now shedding its expenses. It's getting rid of people that they feel are not valuable to the company, and that they're streamlining their processes. They're getting more efficient. And it's actually good news when layoffs happen. Alright, so that's, again, this is a whole nother topic of why you should be an employer versus an employee, but whatever, I don't want to get into that. I want to talk about stock trading. So those are all different examples of catalysts. Now, a catalyst is super important because that's going to determine your day trading. If you're buying and selling stocks, you need to be in tune with the news, with the market, with the company that you're trading, and understand what is impacting that company's stock price, because that's how you're going to be able to effectively know when to buy and when to sell to lock in your profits. Okay, so that's very important to keep in mind. That's kind of the key concept of what a catalyst is. And the last thing I want to talk about in this video is that you need to understand that just because there's good news in the market doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to beneficially affect the stock price, okay? The markets are very complicated, and there's millions of participants, and it's what we call a zero-sum game. And what that means is, you know, what I like to think about in life is everything's abundant. Everybody can make money. Everybody can get what they need. There's enough resources in the world to do so, right? But unfortunately with trading, if you make money, that usually means someone else probably lost some money, because there's only a finite amount of capital, which is a fancy word for cash, in the world for all these stocks. And so when you sell a stock and you made a lot of money, that probably means someone bought it at a loss, right? You see how that works? So because stock trading is so competitive, you need to know that there's always a chance that the catalysts will not the stock market price will not always follow your expectations. And that's probably the number one way stock traders lose money, is that they think that they read, hey, Apple is dropping their new iPhone. Let me buy this stock now, because when they do their Apple conference or whatever that's called every September, October, November, and release the new iPhone or talk about how much they sold, the stock price will definitely go up, right? But again, in that case, you would be wrong, because as I said, the market is complicated. In fact, Apple and the investors who buy Apple, or the people who do stock trading, they have already accounted for that fact. So while you were thinking that, hey, it's November, or it's September, and the report is coming out in November, I'm ahead of the curve, right? Unfortunately not, because a lot of the times the good news is already baked into the price, meaning that the current price that it sits today in September is already calculating the amount of investors that have purchased probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of shares for what news is going to be released a few months down the line. Okay, so that's another reason why we stay away from the main stocks, right? If you're doing dividend stock trading or trying to invest the Warren Buffett method, where you just buy today and wait 50 years and it's going to go up because the stock market always goes up, that's fine. That's something you can do. But this course specifically, and these videos, at what we do at Penny Stock, is actually specifically more about day trading, which is buying and selling within the same day or within the same week. Okay, so that's what you need to keep in mind, is that's the strategy and method we're refining. So what we're looking for is, the whole gameplay is just this right here. We're looking and researching stocks based on a certain criteria. We find that list of stocks, and then we wait for the best time to buy it. And the reason we wait is because we know that something's about to happen, or a few factors or things are going to line up where once we buy this stock, it's going to shoot up even further. And then we will have the time to sell and profit. That's it. There's nothing else to it. That's the whole game. Now, obviously, there's a lot of intricacies involved in knowing how to do those things effectively, but that's all it comes to when you're trading stocks. It's a buy low, sell high game. And so in penny stock, in everything we do, is all we talk about is, you know, what's affecting the market, what's affecting the stock price, and what you need to look out for to understand in which direction the stock price is going to move. Once you can master that, you can be well on your way to being a successful stock trader. Hope that made sense. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, as always, feel free to email us at admin, that's ADMIN, @inpennystock.com. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care.